Hello, welcome to the Season 15 Huddled Lair Grandmaster Guide. This Grandmaster features unstoppable and overload champions, so you're going to need those appropriate mods on your gauntlets equipped. Weapons I recommend: 1 TQ's Divination, Linear Fusions, and Wither Horde will come in handy in this GM. A couple mods you're going to want to have on: Double Arc or Void Resist for the snipers and for the boss, Protective Light Taking Charge, and Particle Deconstruction for your linear fusions. The double arc mods help me out a lot in the boss room. Subclasses and a couple exotic armor pieces you might want to consider is Bottom Tree Solar Titan with Aeon Safe, Top Tree Tether with Orpheus Riggs and Stasis Warlock, or Bottom Tree Solar Warlock works good too. Most of the supers we're really using for ad clear in the boss room. As it gets really crazy, the ads spawn like nuts. We'll go through all those phases and how that's all going to keep us safe by using these supers. I also recommend maybe having somebody with blinding grenades. In this gameplay, you'll see I'm using TQ's Divination, blinding grenades, and I'm using a linear fusion as my heavy. I think I'm using Reed's Regret in this particular run. So as you go through the beginning here, you're gonna have an overload champion, have your player with Aeon Safe, make sure to do a finisher on that overload so your team can get heavy ammo. This is gonna help you upkeep with your linear fusions to stun those unstoppables and really just melt them down pretty quickly. Important things to remember in GMs in general: keep your distance, take your time here in this room. You got a big mini boss up here, knock him out. You're going to come up, you're going to run into an unstoppable champion that's going to spawn right here. Also, Screebs will spawn over to the right. That we'll see them creep up here in a second. It's good to pop a Wither Horde down in this spot to help get rid of those. And what's really fun in this whole strike in general is the mini Screebs that pop out every time you kill a Ravager. So it's always something to keep in mind. Up here at the top, a sniper also, you'll see that Wither Horde's already starting to tick at it. Be mindful of that sniper. It will one-shot you. Once that sniper's down, going up on that platform also gives you a nice vantage point of the rest of this room. You'll have another unstoppable champ come up. Finish it if you can. Your Aeon player to give your team ammo and move on to the next section. This next section is going to have an unstoppable and an overload down at the bottom, as well as snipers on the left and right. So it's important to stay back here. Be wary of the void grenades too, as those also can one-shot you. So it's important here. Take your time, watch the snipers, and just kind of work on these ads and get them down. If you lose somebody, if you have a Titan, I usually threw a barricade and was able to pretty safely res. If those Ravagers come up close, watch out for the mini Screebs. They are everywhere. So once you got them peppered down, finish off those champs down there. I also ran, I think it's Radiant Light. I'm gonna double check myself with an arc, because I ran arc resist mods, which gave me an overshield when I do finishers to help me finish safely. So after that, you'll see Luscious Ham, how he's tapping on the lever over there. You want to do it how he's doing it and get it down to just before it's all the way down. This way we can spawn the ads before the spider tank comes out. So once those ads spawn, just deal with them appropriately. You'll also get unstoppable champions that will spawn on the left and on the right during this time. And so you'll just deal with those and stun them with your heavy melt. And I snuck up on the stairs and kind of waited for them, and then I'd finish them. So once those two are down, you can tap on the plate in the middle again once you get all your ammo to spawn the spider tank. So this is where Wither Horde really comes in handy. Your Wither Horde player will just keep hitting him with Wither Horde over and over, and it will tick down. I just kind of use tick use to get some damage on him. The important thing is to not kill any of the spider legs. That will make it easiest for you, as it will spawn more ads. Up here, another unstoppable, take it out, a couple ads, no big deal. And you're moving on to the next part. Fun fact, if you finish a Ravager, it usually doesn't pop out as creep. This next part, you're going to have a lot of ads. The key here is to stay back in this area here. We had our teammate actually went up onto the left onto a platform, which turned out pretty good. I've done both ways. Everyone's staying back, someone going up there where he is. So what me and Ham did was basically we each went on the plates here, pushed them down until ads spawned, then we backed off, dealt with those ads. And once all the ads are dead, then we would go back and push down the plates again to make sure we were back in a safe place to deal with them and to not spawn them all at the same time. We found sometimes leaving one counterweight up on the last push, we could spawn a wave of ads before the boss came out. That wasn't really consistent, but sometimes it worked. And then you'll be dealing with the Vengeful Hand. A couple overloads will come out. It's really as simple as just staying back and not getting too close until you're comfortable to move up and deal with the overloads and the boss, and just pepper them with primary, heavy as you see fit. We usually took out the Vengeful Hand first and then focus the overloads, just because they were really finicky sometimes. As we move along, you'll have an overload up here along with a couple unstoppables that are really aggressive on this bridge. They are the most aggressive unstoppables I feel like in this whole strike for some reason. But deal with them. Be wary of the snipers in the back. They will one-shot you. They don't care about your life. And deal with these guys. This is where arc resist really comes in handy for me, with these guys and with the boss. So I chose either, do I want to die by void grenade and snipers, or by these guys and the boss. I felt like personally I got shot by the boss's sniper strike more, and so I took the arc resist, and it saved my butt, as it allowed me to actually tank a shot from the boss and get into cover. So once this guy's dealt with, finish him if you can, so all your team can get heavy ammo, and we'll move on to the boss. Phase 1, ads will spawn on the right, then on the left, then he goes immune to spawn a bunch of ads. So you'll either want to stay in the back middle or go to the left to start this encounter. So you'll see me run into the middle to start it, and I'm head immediate to the left, and you're really, it's all health gated. So you just want to pepper him with primary, maybe a couple shots of heavy, until you see the ads spawn on the other side. Once the ads spawn, you'll want to make sure that you stop doing boss damage. And when Scorn spawn in, it's pretty apparent. You can see the blue that pops up when they spawn in. So dangers in here are his big AoE circle on the ground. Just jump away from it. Don't, stay away from that. Be wary of his sniper attack. Try to stay in cover as much as possible. I like the right side better than the left side if I have a choice, because there's no moving spinny wheels. So once you deal with those ads, you're safe to start damaging the boss again, and try to make your way to the other side. If you're previously on the left, you can see I was able to tank the sniper shot from the boss with my arc resist. And then once you dealt him enough damage, you will spawn in more ads on the left side. And you'll simply just shoot them from the other side, being wary of his big AoE. And then you'll pepper him some more, and he'll become immune, and he'll disappear, spawning out a ton of ads. This is where you'll want to chain supers. So work this out with your team. So you'll work that out who's going to do what first. So we had Ham do his solar super first, cleared out a crap ton of enemies with his warlock. As soon as the second run came in, it's important with these things to remember the screeps, right? So this is why I chose bottom tree solar titan, because it leaves those sunspots on the ground. That takes care of most of the screebs that come out of this. Same with the solar warlock and the burn. And having a top tree tether hunter helps stun and keep that all away as long as possible. You don't want to get close to anything that comes out of there. It's important to kind of stay back, and I found it easy. What helped me was start throwing your super before they're fully spawned in, so you're not having to react to them already being there, because they hurt. All right, phase 2. He's going to tether you. You're going to add spawn on the left. You're going to tether it again, add spawn on the right. Then he's going to go immune. So as you do damage, you're going to start working him towards the first tether. When the tether animation begins, you'll want to walk backwards. This gives you some momentum, so you're not pulled in as quickly. So when you first start getting pulled, you'll kind of go backwards first and then start going forward. I cannot stress enough, don't be afraid to use heavy here. It also helps if the Wither Horde user can throw a Wither Horde on him before he while he's in the tether animation before you get tethered, because he'll start doing that tick damage while you're in the air for you. So take care of the next set of adds and then do boss damage. You get tethered again. Same thing, walk backwards, use heavy if you need it. It's important to really take these steps step by step. You don't want to be tethered while he's calling in adds, or you're going to get shredded while you're up in the air, and it's almost always a wipe. So it's really important to pay attention to an add spawn, to deal with them and leave the boss be. So you'll get your second set of enemy spawns in just like before. I like to stay up on the stairs to kind of horde them all through the staircase here. And between us all chaining our supers, we were pretty effective in getting all of those adds taken care of. Little's no problem. Between supers, blinding grenades, it worked out pretty well. You'll also get an unstoppable here, which I completely forgot about, and it shredded me. So you do get an unstoppable on the second round. So phase 3, adds will spawn on the right. You'll get tethered again. Adds spawn on the left. You get tethered again. After that last tether, you are clear to burn the boss and get your win. So we're getting our right spawn here. I just want to show you kind of what that looks like. And pretty much once you drop from a tether, it just takes a little bit more damage on it, then he'll start the next spawn of enemies. That's the last tether. Then you're free to blow all your heavy, super, everything you got on them. You're probably going to use those heavy linear fusions with particle deconstruction. They're going to do work. They do a lot of work. So that's the quick version of how to get through this GM. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I'd be happy to help, and hope you all have a great day.